Derby. I'm in Heathrow Airport and I'm going back to Australia. So yeah, so I'm originally from my mom's from Ghana, my dad's from Nigeria, and I was raised in East London. And I'm 22 years old now, and right now I'm living in Australia. And I guess growing up was it was cool. I think my earliest memory, if I look back, okay, not too far, but I grew up with my mum, so I was never with my dad. He was in and out of the picture. He would come around now and then, and every time he would come round, he'll come round and he would just leave like a bit of money, like 50 pounds here and there. And when I was growing up, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, that was crazy. That was I loved when my dad came round. And as growing up, when I get to teenage years, 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, got to the stage where I was like, I'm not just worth 50 pounds here and there. And that got me to thinking. I think the last time I saw him, he just dropped like 50 pounds. I was like, I'm going to be at the stage where I'm never going to be broke again. I'm never going to rely on anybody. Not him, not my mom, but myself to make my own money and live my own way. Growing up from school, I was always about trying to earn the quick buck. And I first started off in school selling donuts. So I was selling donuts, and I guess that taught me interpersonal skills, how to have fun with people, but how to actually sell myself. Where as a 14-year-old, I went into Asda one day and I was like, hey, I can sell these donuts on the playground for £1 each, and it's 50p for a pack of 5. So if you do the maths, by the end of the week I was selling a lot, and I was making £70, £80 for a 13-year-old, 14-year-old. It's a lot of money. And I was able to buy the dresses I wanted to buy, take girls out when I wanted to, and I then started to have a hustler mentality, and I think growing up through year 7, year 8, I was friends with everyone through football and through school. And so my earliest memory, I think in year 7, my first few days of school, I'm at the bus stop, waiting to go home, and these group of guys come up to me and they're like, hey, yo, where you from, what you got? And I'm like, I'm like in year 7, like 12 years old. I'm like, I don't know. But the thing is, I've been this height since year 7. So from year 7, I was huge. Back then everyone was like, this guy's a monster, this guy's really big. So I remember they came up to me and they're trying to search the pockets, and at that time I thought, okay, this is gonna go down. There's like 6 of them, there's one of me, and luckily one of the guys was like, hey, that's Lenny's cousin. And I don't even know a guy called Lenny, but they're like, oh yeah, he looks like Lenny, and I'm like, yeah, that's my cousin. And they all just backed off, and from that stage I knew, okay, so the roads weren't too safe. Like, you have to watch yourself when you're out here. And year 9, I guess the first time I was actually really in trouble was when I went to a place called I was in Dagenham. I was at a party, and at these times, the town where I'm from, Beckton, Dagenham and Custom House had problems with Beckton, and I guess this is the first time where I decided to really rep where I was from. It didn't go down too well, but these guys came from people from Beckton. I was outside the party, and I could have got away and said, hey, I'm not from Beckton, but they put it on me, and I was like, yeah, I am from Beckton. And as a result, I ended up getting into trouble. There was like 20 guys, it was just me, and I got chased for days. But I made it through that. I definitely could have ended up in the ground at that stage, but luckily I had people there who had my back and helped me escape and get through it. And then from that stage, this is like, I guess, year 8 going into year 9, I knew that where I was from was definitely going to determine where I could go and who I could speak to, and the roads definitely weren't safe just because of where the town I lived in. So because of that propelled me to, I guess you could say, go the opposite way instead of just not coming off or not trying to rep my place. I was like, you know what, if people are going to come for me for being from my this town, then I'm going to rep it to the fullest. And if you don't like this town, then you're in trouble as well. And I guess that's where I started to really really get involved with the postcode beef and whatnot, and at the same time, my main focus was just really making money. But I guess going through the years and having so many friends, getting stabbed here and things happening to friends, just really grew in me like a pain in my heart, and I started to become really cold in the roads, and I guess after school, when I just by the end of school, one of my close friends, Elton, he was taken through, he was killed through gang beef, and from then on, as soon as I finished school, I was like, this is real, this is real out here. Like anytime anyone could go, whether it be my friends, whether it be someone from another town, anyone could go, and I guess that was the stage where I started to really roll around, with just one crowd and whatnot, and it was crazy. Yeah, so after school is where everything started to escalate, and it became a downward spiral. Like, I was doing everything it took to make money, whether that came from scams to drugs to moves, burglaries, the whole lot. And I was arrested I was arrested a dozen times, and my mom was starting to really get onto my back. She's like, why are you getting into so much trouble? And I guess where I knew where the start of the whole downward spiral was where my mom caught me with with a Glock 9 in my room, and then she knew that I was really involved in a life of crime, and at this stage I could have thought to myself, my mom's just found a gun in my room, should I just should I throw away this life or should I carry on? But no, I was really determined to carry on with making money and doing what it takes, and leaving that gang life. And eventually an incident happened where a guy who had beef with me on Facebook came to my yard and threatened to burn it down. So we turned up, and the rest is history. We got into a little altercation, and I ended up I remember that day actually, because the guy ended up getting stabbed, and his brother, and he went away by hospital. The guy nearly died, and halfway through the day I heard that one of the guys said, hey, that guy Kevin was involved. So straight away, me and all my friends knew that this is probably going to be my last day that they saw me fresh from the road. I'm definitely going to jail that night. And as I went home that night, I saw the police van outside my house, and the only thing I could think of was how long am I going to spend in jail? And they took me away, and I spent I think 2 days in the police station, and they took me away to Feltham. And yeah, Feltham was different, I guess. It was the first time, the only time I was really I went to. I've been to police stations and stuff, and I've been out, but in a jail was not where I was definitely looking my life to go. But I ended up in jail, and the only thing I could think of was to keep praying and stay positive, but know that things could go really sour if they find evidence or whatnot. And the only thing I could think of is, when I was in there, if I did get out, that I would change my life around. And I always knew that I wanted to go into business and to go into working, into working into a career. I just needed like the right push, and I was always a positive soul. So in jail, I always knew, I'll be doing push-ups in the cell saying I'm gonna come out, even though I'll see my lawyer and he'd be like, the odds are against you. You have to be in here because you have other charges. And I always knew that through belief and through the Lord, that I'm praying that I'm gonna come out. And when I do come out, I'm gonna change my life for the good, and everyone's gonna know. So 7 weeks later, actually, let me just go back. I think that it's the first time that my mom came to visit me in jail, and I'm like, wow, after seeing her, I was like, I've been putting my mom through all of this. I put her through life already. She had to raise me as a single parent, and I put her through this as well. And I'm like, this can't go on. When I get out, I'm changing life for good. And I got out, and I moved out of the ends for how long? Probably 2 months, 3 months, and during that time as a 17-year-old in London, my only focus is, all right, if I can get a job, I can get a car. If I can get a car, I can get the honeys. That was my only focus. So I was like, let me get a job. And by chance, I always knew that I didn't want to work for someone. I didn't want to work like, I had friends in retail and they complained about working the hours and the boss. And I didn't want to work for someone. I wanted to work for myself. And I went into all these interviews half-hearted because I just didn't really want to work in a retail role. And lo and behold, I applied for this job that is sales and marketing, and it's commission based. You can make as much money as you want. You're selling electronic cigarettes and love film packages, and there's a chance for progression to open your own company. And I'm like, that's crazy. Well, anyone can open their own company if you go through the stages. And I joined the business, and at the time I was between going after my first year of college, and my mom was like, I'm like, Mom, I want to do this business. I can get to management, and I'm 17, 18 trying to explain that I can get to management, make $100 grand a year, in this company. And she's like, no, you need to go back to uni. And I'm like, no, I don't even know if I want to go back to uni. I want to do this business. And I don't live with my dad, but she called my dad in, and my dad came in and said, hey, whatever you're doing, you need to go back to uni. Eventually it got to the stage where I was so hell-bent on doing this business and opening my own company that I brought both my mom and my dad into the office to meet the managers. And I remember walking in to the office, my dad was like to my mom, don't worry, whatever they say to him, he's definitely going to go uni. And I remember after the meeting, walking out of the office, my dad was like, well, the ball's in your court. Yeah, it sounds like a good opportunity. And I guess because my dad, he runs businesses, and obviously he's a lot older and more experienced. He kind of understood what I was trying to do, and he said, this is what you want to do, then this is your choice, and go ahead and do it. And once I have my parents' blessings, I was like, wherever it takes to get to the top of this business, I'm going to do it. And I stuck to it. And the opportunity came to move to Australia to expand the company out there. And I told my manager at the time, hey Helen, if I'm going to come, I'm only coming out there to run my own company. And at the time I'm 18, and I'm like, do you think I have a chance of doing it? And she's like, if you listen to everything I say, you will build your team and you will open your company. And I get out there 12 months later, I open my own company, and I'm like, great. It's great that I put in that hard work, knocking on all those doors and taking all that rejection, but that time went, that doesn't matter anymore. And I used to think to myself, how am I going to make my mom proud? And my mom will be at church, and I can imagine her, say, with all the aunties, and all the aunties are like, oh yeah, my son's going to uni over here, my son's going to uni over here, my son's in America with a scholarship. And my mom's saying, my son runs a business in Australia. And I'm like, wherever it takes to do that, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I went to Australia, and now I'm back here for holiday, and I'm just I guess so happy in the way that I did go into job, because it gave me that time to reflect and to make a really big change. And I guess if I didn't go to job, I would still be on the roads. I wouldn't have applied for a job because I was making money through what I was doing on the roads, and I wouldn't have ran into this business that saw a bigger picture and gave anybody a chance to move forward.
I guess I'm a dreamer, oh, I guess I'm a dreamer, oh, but I'm happy here within my dream. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, yeah. I'm happy here with my dream.